course there's a motorcycle outside. Go away! What's up guys, GameEater1222, it's teaching day! This is episode 2 of my introduction to Yu-Gi-Oh! Dealing with the special condition summoning monsters of this game. The reason why we're starting with these is because it's a really great way of giving you a history of the game, as well as getting newer players caught up to where we are right now with how everything works. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a complicated game and all the special condition summoning monsters are all complicated in their own way. Today's special condition monster is Rituals, which actually is a personal favorite of mine and kind of the odd one out because it's the only one that's solely a main deck mechanic, unlike everything else which deals with the extra deck in some way, shape, or form. It's good to get this one done early because it just gets weirder from here on out. Ritual monsters are designated by this blue card, not to be confused with the Link monsters coming out soon. They couldn't have used a different color. And they are played in your main deck. How do you ritual summon? Well, a lot like fusion summoning, ritual summoning requires you to have a very specific spell in order to do it. However, instead of a very, very specific spell in that polymerization, it's just a specific ritual spell for that ritual monster. For instance, we have Blackluster Soldier, and his Blackluster Ritual is what summons him. To perform Ritual Summon, you simply have to have both this and the spell in your hand. Once you activate the spell, you must pitch material to your graveyard from your field or hand, whose levels equal that of the ritual monster. Most ritual spells allow you to send more than the required level, but certain ones are specific and that level has to be exact. That's really all there is to it. You just play your spell, you play your monster, and there you go, you got a boss monster. Being one of the older mechanics, it's actually plagued with one problem that really was very hard for the mechanic to shake, and that is consistency. Fusion monsters have the advantage of being in the extra deck, meaning that's one less combo piece that you do not need to draw, it's just in your extra deck at your disposal anytime you get the rest of it together. However, with ritual monsters, you run into this problem where you have to have the spell, the ritual, monster itself, some material in your hand or field in order to pay for it, and it's just a lot that needs to go right. Luckily, there's tons of ritual support that was released in various spells and traps and monsters and things like that to help kind of alleviate the need to just naturally draw the parts that you need. Now, rituals have been pretty much consistent since the start of the game in how they work. There hasn't been major shifts in how they function. However, there is two subcategories you could conceivably split this up to. The first one is extremely specific, non-generic ritual summoning cards. For instance, the Blackluster Soldier or Magician of Black Chaos or Relinquished are all really, really good examples because they are summoned by a very specific spell card. And that's really all there is to it. They don't do anything other than that, that's just what it is. The other category is a little more generic, whereas you break it up via archetype like Gishkis or Necros, where the spell card can summon any of those in that archetype. It does get more generic than that with things like Sprite's Blessing and Advanced Ritual Art, which allow you to summon different monsters in a more broad spectrum. Again, there isn't as much to rituals as there are to fusions, so it's going to be a shorter video. However, I can go over a couple of decks that use the various mechanics that I've mentioned. If you're looking to play a more classic style ritual deck that uses a very specific spell card, it doesn't really have to, but you could build it that way, would be your Herald deck, or Herald and Cyber Angels. It's got a more classic feel to it. You use Herald Perfection, which is an older card, and it's still a pretty viable meta contender, especially once Link Summoning comes out. If you want to play a mix of old and new, the Blackluster Soldier deck's another great one to use. It focuses on playing Super Soldier over the original Blackluster Soldier, even though you could conceivably run the original. It uses a mix of chaos mechanics as well as just general ritual support in order to actually pump out this thing, and it does a decent job of performing under Link's format. If nostalgia is your thing, but you like a little bit more meta relevancy, Blue Eyes White Dragon is another deck you can use. Primarily a synchro deck, you can build this, however, to use Chaos Max Dragon, which is a gigantic beat stick that's actually a little hard to deal with due to its fact that it's untargetable. It does double piercing damage against anything in defense mode, so if you can play cards like Swords of Concealing Light, you can do quite a bit of damage. The cool thing about Blue Eyes White Dragon is you can cater the deck to synchro summoning as well as ritual summoning, and it doesn't have to put all of its chips into making Chaos Max Dragon, unlike the Blackluster Soldier deck, which is primarily meant to summon Super Soldier. You could build the deck to turbo out Chaos Max, but it's not as a requirement because the deck can do other things. And last but not least, if you want to play some decks of old, we have Gishkis and Necros. I lump these two together because they used to be really good in their respective formats, but the ban list kind of took away necessary combo pieces for them to really shine. However, the decks are still water decks, which have tons of support, and if you sit there and you just kind of fiddle with it, you might be able to come up with a pretty decent rogue contender. And I guess that was my intro to Ritual Monsters. Like I said, it's a little less complicated than Synchros because Rituals they've been pretty consistent throughout the history of the game. They are what they are. Let's just hope we get some really cool Ritual support going forward, because during Link's format, they do not need an extra deck zone, which lets them play pretty much uninhibited, which is a great inherent ability of these decks. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think of the video, and remember guys, if you don't troll the meta, who will? I'll see you guys next time.
Oh, hey losers. What are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button. Wanna watch something else? Hurry up and choose one of these. Ugh. When are you gonna make a choice? This year would be nice.